The Stalker, or Raptor, off Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3 is one of the creepiest and most disturbing necromorphs in my opinion, because while the other necromorphs will attack you and try to tear you apart, Stalker does just what its name implies. It stalks you, it hunts you, and it isn't alone either. Utilizing a pack method for hunting just like humans and wolves are known for, they will try to outflank you and overwhelm you. Given enough mistakes, even the most armored and weaponized human can be overwhelmed. In this episode, I will break down the morphological traits and discern where its hunting instincts actually come from. Also, don't forget to stick around till the end for the breakdown of the execution style of the Stalker. The biology of the Stalker Necromorph is highly twisted and resembles little of the person that used to be the new organism. These necromorphs, if you can believe it, are considered to be the most heavily altered forms, ranking with the brutes and some of the larger boss necromorphs. In fact, if you would like to see a video on the brute, then a link should be up on the screen right now. The Stalker is equipped with long arms that have been stretched to their limits post-mortem. It is clear that the skeletal structure has been changed massively to give the creature reach only seen by professional basketball players. The hands have undergone changes as well. The 5 fingers have been replaced by 3 bloody claws and barely any skin. These bony protrusions are equipped with sharpened tips. These tips are not really used for slashing, however. They are used more for like impaling and knocking down potential victims, but if it does knock you down, you're no longer a potential victim at that point anyways. They can also be used in some cases to rend the victim heavily, damaging them if they are not wearing a rig. So, let's jump into the sounds, death, encounters, lore, and kills of these brutal necromorphs. The chest and ribcage of the Stalker has been splayed open like many of the necromorphs that occurred during the outbreak. Inside you can see the vestigial organs left over that used to run as a finely tuned machine. The necromorph now has little use for these, and it's really either been reconstituted in pieces or the organ has just fallen out completely. The muscles of the back have increased in size as well as the spine itself. This has led to a reinforced spinal column around the back of the neck and the back itself. This has ensured that the creature can't really be cut in half by regular means. On top of this, it gives massive power to the head of the necromorph, but we will cover that information in a minute. The feet of the necromorph have turned into claws, almost as if you would have split a foot down the middle and then fused the 2 sides together. These feet allow the Stalker to move quietly through an area when it is stalking prey. It appears to almost walk on its toes like many predators do, such as big cats, wolves, sometimes even humans. When we run on the balls of our feet, which is going to actually be much quieter. The ankles have been hinged at a forward angle, providing shock absorbing capabilities when running and jumping from higher objects. Now we get to the reason that the Stalker is actually truly terrifying. Its head and face. A massive eyeless 3-pronged head with only traces of human bone structure are present. The skull is largely exposed to the open air and has these protrusions capable of fitting another human head inside. However, more often than not, these protrusions are going to be used to bash a person's face in during an attack. The protrusions in mine must be reinforced with quite a bit of bone, as they do not seem to snap against a hard skull or the metal of a rig. The head is supported by the large spinal column and muscular neck and back, providing even more strength to the creature. The upper jaw and nasal cavities are still intact, with 2 protrusions surrounding the lower jaw. The cranial dome has been flattened to provide a much stronger striking surface and a blunt striking surface while it attempts to completely bash in your skull. After the first hit, a person is probably going to be knocked unconscious. The skull itself is very strong and not able to be taken off of the creature with a normal shot, which is in contrast to other necromorphs. Usually other necromorphs, the head is not very reinforced, but it's also vestigial, whereas with the Stalker, the head is usually a main point of attack. Their morphology is terrifying, but what's even worse is their intelligence. These guys are going to be the most intelligent and opportunistic of the common necromorph. As mentioned earlier, they will hunt in packs and coordinate with others to take down their prey. Many times they can be seen peering around or over obstacles to get a good look at you, even calling out to others to let them know that they are going to begin their attack. You may be thinking, how is this level of thought possible with a necromorph? Well, like in most of my videos, I mentioned genetics being a factor and how people change, and this video is no different. Well, in this case, the hunting instinct is probably going to be strong in the individual. Perhaps they used to hunt on other planets or even Earth, or just come from a long line of hunters. This instinct will still be pretty innate in them. For instance, I personally have never hunted because I really don't have a desire to. but I work with people who love hunting. Going even further back, humans have been hunter-gatherers before, so perhaps the marker signal activates that instinct in the person, causing them to group together with similar people after their change, and then they begin hunting. My theory on it is that humans are still animals. As such, the animalistic tendencies will always bleed through, more so after the marker signal has pretty much stripped away your humanity and gotten a hold of your mind and body. These dominating traits are then utilized to create a better hunter known as the Stalker. When a Stalker rushes you, their torsos are surprisingly sturdy. They are able to absorb multiple shots and continue on towards your intended target, or really towards you. What is not sturdy, however, is their arms and legs, and using the limited resources of the human form to strengthen the back and skull, the creature had to take resources from other areas. This has really led to a kind of weak arms and legs. The arms only being weak to a plasma cutter shot though, as they are still able to rip off a fully grown man's arm in rig armor. What also differs from the Stalker with the other necromorphs is their reaction and interaction with non-infected humans. If a person stumbles upon a group of Stalkers and that group didn't know that person was there, they will flee to get a better position. They will bark out information to other Stalkers in the area of your location as they attempt to keep track of you. But interestingly, and unlike all common necromorphs, they react to damage, fleeing from Isaac or Carver if they are injured. They almost appear like humans turned into twisted monsters with the mentality of wolves. Like many necromorphs, there existed an enhanced version of the Stalker. They usually have double the power, speed, and health. And I don't know if this is canon or not, but I've developed kind of a hypothesis as to why the enhanced variant even exists, as I think it's because the body isn't newly converted. The signal has had time to continue to mold the creature and placed everything where it needs to be to evolve it fully. The enhanced version of the Stalker is larger and bulkier with a head crowned with large fang-like spines. So the Stalker has two normal ways of taking you out, and one of them that's really kind of more in your face. The first way is if a Stalker charges you and you aren't facing it, it will basically just tear Isaac in half with no issue. Also, if a Stalker's legs are cut out from underneath it, but it manages to get back to you, it will slice at you, and the claws are still very strong, and they will subsequently tear you in half. Now for the more gruesome way. If you are low on health and the Stalker charges you from the front, it will knock Isaac to the ground, and at this point, he's pretty much broken and tired from all the previous attacks. Now think about going like one-on-one with Mike Tyson, you're gonna be really, really tired, so you're not gonna have the action potential in your muscles to actually hit correctly. Anyways, he will strike at the Stalker, attempting to get it off of him, but these hits are not enough, as the muscles are depleted of energy. Stalker will grab his arm, tearing it off completely. This is obviously going to lead to massive blood loss, and the fact that your arm is gone is going to put you in shock very quickly. The Stalker will then use its prongs on its head to bash Isaac into the face until he stops struggling. A couple of things really could be at play here. Either Isaac is knocked unconscious by the hit and killed shortly after when he, is dragged off screen, or possibly his neck is snapped by the sheer force being put on his head. There is pretty much I think it's I don't know if it's completely true, but supposedly 3 pounds of pressure is all it takes to actually snap a human neck. Amazing that our brains are located on such flimsy things, but hey, they gotta go somewhere. But the main thing is that the skull is probably going to be caved in at this point, which is going to send shards of bone into your brain, which is going to cause massive hemorrhaging and pretty much almost instantaneous death. Either way, when the Stalker drags him off screen, he is donezo. So, what do you guys think about the Stalker? Does it creep you out like it does for me? I want to know down in the comments. Ultimately, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as I loved making it. It's always nice to return back to some Dead Space. If you did like it, then don't forget to subscribe. Seriously, it would be pretty bro of you. I'm currently at 515 subs, and I'm pretty proud of that, the fact that my channel is growing. Also, side note, Stalker always reminded me of a xenomorph, just slightly. So if you guys have made it this far, what do you think the Stalker looks like? Because, I don't know, it kind of looks like xenomorph, but it also kind of looks like a raptor. Whatever, just tell me down in the comments. Let's see. So, if you would like to subscribe, why not get on the ground floor? It's still a small channel, but I'm thinking eventually it'll grow faster, who knows. The next Dead Space video will be covering the Leaper Necromorph, but I've got a few other videos in rotation coming out. If you guys want to check out the Jackal video that I made last time, which doesn't appear to be doing too great, but I worked really hard on it, so I'd really like if you would check it out. It should be up on the screen now. Yeah. Anyways, so that Left 4 Dead video that I've been talking about now for like, I don't know, 2 months, it's actually going to be coming out really, really soon, hopefully next week. It's going out over the witch and possibly the diseases that she has that have caused the mutations. And I know it's called the green flu or whatever, but it appears to be more. Hopefully though, next week, like I said, that'll be out. Anyways, so thanks for watching Roanoke Gaming, guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.